everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room and welcome to my special guest, Nikki. She owns Violet Pineapple Balloons and today we're going to make a really fun balloon together.
So fun.
So be sure to check her out. I'll put all her social media links down below in the video's description so that you can see all the beautiful things that she makes. But today we're going to make this fun balloon.
So much fun, so colorful. It's through a clear balloon. It's super unique, something I've never seen before. So we're excited to do this for you.
Let's head over to Design Space. I'm going to show you where I got the little fish from. We're going to set up all the vinyl and then we're going to get to cut it out, apply it. It's going to be so fun, so let's get started. Now be sure to stay tuned to the end where we're going to show you how we take this balloon and style it for a party so that it's a standout piece. It's going to look amazing.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
In Design Space, I've already uploaded the image because I show you how to do that all the time. But we're going to use this little fishy guy in a fishbowl. Now, obviously, we didn't use all of the fishbowl parts. So what we're going to do is remove a lot of things and use contour to kind of change him up so that you can see how to do this. The first thing that you'll see is that it's a ton of different pieces and we definitely don't need all of those. So what we're going to do is ungroup it so that we can remove some of the parts that we don't need a lot easier. So what you're going to do is click on each part that you don't want, and you can either hit the backspace key, the delete key on your keyboard. There's lots of different ways to delete, but I'm going to delete all of the stuff that makes up this fishbowl. And then you'll notice that he has some small black pieces as well. One of those being his background outline, but also his eyes and the little lines on his tail. So his eyeball right here is actually sliced out of the face, and the little slits on his tail are sliced out as well. So that being said, we don't need those little tiny pieces because it's a pain, and why are we going to layer that when we don't need to? So you'll see here that we have this outline instead of a solid black background. Using an outline makes it a lot harder to layer on top of, so we're going to use contour so that you can see how to turn this into a solid layer. Click on contour, and then all you need to do is click all the parts that you want solid, or you can click hide all contours down in that lower right hand corner of that box. Now you'll see we have a solid fish shape, and if I send it to the back, you'll see that he now has his eyeball and his little fins left over. So you can see how those details, we no longer have to cut them. They'll be cut into the red and the yellow parts. Now I want 3 fish and I'm going to make him about 4 inches tall, so I just duplicated him really quick. And now what I want to do is I'm going to kind of change the colors of the fish so that we can see what those look like, because I don't want to do all gold fish, but you can do whatever you want. So to change the colors, all I do is select the piece that I want to change the color and then just choose a different color from the color options next to basic cut. You can choose any colors that you want. It really only matters the color that you put on the mat when you go to cut out your vinyl. So I'm going to do this kind of bluey purpley fish, and then I'm going to do one that's got more shades of green in it. But again, do whatever colors you want, whatever makes you happy, and whatever style you want to do. You can match the theme of your party, you can match the colors of like the kids' favorite, colors, or if you wanted to do something a little bit more realistic, you can use a more realistic color for your fish. It's really up to you and how you want to do it. There is no wrong way and no wrong color. But again, I'm just kind of recoloring them so that they all look a little bit different to add some variety. The next thing that we need to do is to add the name to this project, because we're going to cut that out as well. So open up the text, and I'm just going to use the name Ophelia. It's the name me and my friend Nikki decided looked fun. Now, you can change your text here in Design Space by going up to the top, clicking fonts, and I always use system fonts. This can take a while because you have to click each font and see if you like it, and some of the fonts don't give you a preview to show you what they look like. So I'm going to show you a different way to do this that's a lot easier in my opinion. We are going to use wordmark.it. So simply type in whatever word or name that you want to see in your fonts, click the little arrow, and what it's going to do is bring up the fonts that are in your computer. This doesn't work with Cricut fonts, but I really don't use Cricut fonts. And what you can do is select some fonts that you like. So you can kind of scroll through, choose some that catch your eye, and what's great is you're going to be able to compare them after you choose them. Now, I did install a font and I didn't restart my Internet Explorer here, or my Chrome, so it doesn't have the new font that I installed. So if you install a new font, make sure that you do start your internet browser over again. So just close everything out and reopen it, and it'll bring up the new font you installed. But I'm just going to select a couple just to show you kind of how to do this. Click Filter Selected Fonts, and it brings up all the ones you selected. If you decide that you don't like a font, you can just simply click the X in the corner and get rid of it. And then it'll kind of break down whatever fonts you want, and you can do this until you're left with 1 or 2 fonts, and then compare them over in Cricut Design Space. I love using Wordmark.it. It's such a time saver. Then over in Design Space, select your text again. Go up to your font selection tool, which is up at the left-hand corner there. And you're going to go to your system fonts. Now you can type in the name of your font, or in this case, I'm just going to scroll to it since I know that it's just in those first couple of scrolls. And the font that I'm using is Barbie, and I will link that font down below for you. It's such a pretty font. I'm going to make this about 4 inches tall, or maybe about 4.5 inches wide, I think, for the balloon. It's important to keep in mind how big the balloon is for how big your font is going to be, but I think that looks pretty good. Now, I want to mirror one of the fish so that it faces an opposite direction from the other two. You don't have to do this, but that way it just kind of gives a little variety. The next thing we need to make sure that we do is to mirror the name, because this is going on the back of your balloon. If you don't mirror it, your name is going to look backwards. So it's kind of like the same idea if you forget to mirror HTV and it looks backwards. In this case, we need to mirror this so that the adhesive side is going to be the correct direction. So we're going to click Make It, and it's going to break everything down into the different mats. We're going to use a bunch of different vinyl for this. We're using StyleTech, Avery, Caesar, and StarCraft. And what's great is you can mix and match to find the colors that you want, the finishes that you want. But we are going to have to layer this a little bit differently. So I'm going to walk you through that process because layering these needs to be done so that you can see the color side of your fish. We are ready to cut out all of our fun vinyl. So the first thing we're going to cut out is our black. And I have a roll of black vinyl, and one of the things that I like to do is instead of trying to cut it off so that I have enough, I leave my roll completely on here. I just do what I do with all my vinyl, and I line it up with it on my machine. And then I just take and roll my vinyl down my mat. And I just let the roll kind of hang off the end. And we can cut it with it on the roll, and then when it's done, I just cut a nice straight line right across, and it's going to work out perfectly. We are ready to assemble our fish. Now, keep in mind that this is going on the back side of a clear balloon. So in order to make sure that it sticks, we actually have to assemble everything so that the sticky side is out. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy and confusing, and trust me, I just stood here and thought about this for a couple of minutes and tried to figure out how I was going to do this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my transfer tape, and I do cut it a little bit bigger than my design just so that I have a little more space to work with. And what I'm going to do is first put the black piece down, because he's still going to be the back of our design, but he's going to be the furthest out away from the balloon, and I hope that makes sense. You'll understand it a little bit better, I think, when you see everything assembled, but it can be a little bit confusing when I'm first kind of explaining it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put him onto the transfer tape. So this is the back part of our fish. So it's like the offset and it creates all that extra detail. So now you'll see that it's sticky side up when normally we would be putting things on the non-sticky side. And we're going to start with this part of our fish. So what we need to do is find the one that actually goes the right way, because we did flip these. So I just need to make sure I find the correct one. Yep, this one. And this is going to be placed on to the black part like this. So there's a couple ways you could probably do it, and I'm going to do it in a way that makes most sense to me, and I'm not going to use transfer tape. I'm just peeling it off because it's a pretty small design, and all I'm going to do is just gently place it down onto my image. Now, another option, which can make it really easy for you, is to use this parchment paper method, because remember, nothing sticks to parchment paper. So what you can do is, instead of having this whole area that's sticky to work with, you can just have this little edge of the nose, and just like you would do it if you had transfer tape on it, you just sort of lay it down where you want it to go. Now that was a little off, so I pulled it back up, but you just lay it down where you want it to go, and once you're satisfied, hold it down and peel back your parchment paper, and then just gently kind of press it down onto your fish. So this can be very difficult, but it's going to just take a little bit of practice and kind of perseverance as to getting this all set the way you want it to. But you can definitely make it work, and I think this is going to be really, really fun once it's all down and done. Like, how cute is this going to be with these little fish? So I'll do this one in real time so that you guys can really get a good look at how we're going to assemble this. And it's not perfect, but I think he's pretty okay. I think he'll be fine. I didn't get that one exactly where I wanted it to be. But another option that you can do is you can try to see through your paper. I wouldn't recommend that one. But you can also still try, just put them piece by piece. So I would just play around with it, do a couple like test ones, and see what works best for the way that you want to put your fish together. So I'm just going to try this method because I think this one for me is the one that works best for my brain. And I want to make sure I get the right fin in the right spot. His bottom fin is bigger than his top fin, so keep that in mind. And the offset on this is pretty small, so that's something else you'll want to keep in mind. So I set my purple a little too far down, so I may not have a perfect offset on the bottom of him, but that'll be okay. It's completely fine. He's a little off-centered, but honestly, he's a fish, so do we care? Not really. I think he's still going to look really cute, and they're super cartoony, so it's okay. So let me go ahead and get this one done. We'll move on to the next ones, and then once everybody's done, we'll show you how to apply them to your balloon.
Okay, so now we are going to apply the fish and the sweet name to this balloon. This is a Crystal Clears balloon. So we're going to start with the name. And this is mirrored, so the idea is that when we flip this balloon over, we see through it. Be very quick on this. This is sticking very nicely, so this transfer tape removal is very nice. Okay, perfect. And here's one of our final fish we're gonna stick on here. Again, this should come off very easily. And then I'm just gonna see. Do one here. Last but not least, our green fish. I'm gonna go here, making sure that we don't touch the name with our tape. Okay, that was pretty easy to apply. You can see they're all on there. Okay, we just made sure everything was applied and on there securely, and here is the big colorful reveal.
Don't mind us as we squeal in how cute this came out. Now, you'll have to forgive some of the glaring. Obviously, we do use studio lights and ring lights in here, so you are going to have a little bit of a glare. It's a clear balloon, so any kind of glare is to be expected. But look at how cute!
So cute.
And we did mirror the name, but the fish we just cut regular. We did flip one of them just so they were facing a different direction. But look at how fun, and it was such a fun little project to do. And I feel like you could do this with just about any kind of design that you wanted to. It doesn't necessarily have to be animals, and it could be really, really a fun way to show off your party like decor. How cool is that? Our balloon came out so cute. I know you guys saw it at the beginning, but I just think it's adorable, and I of course want to show it off. It's so fun. So I'm gonna have Nikki tell you a little bit about herself.
So my balloon business, I'm a balloon decorator in Sandusky, Ohio, but we're always looking for fun and creative ways to be able to celebrate parties, and doing vinyl and personalization is super important to especially moms. So we are gonna take this home and finalize this and show you the final product. I'm really excited. I'm so happy that I got to work with Corinne today to learn some tips and tricks, and we can't wait to show you the final product.
Be sure to stay tuned. That'll be right now.